now Zadra's got its new opening date. There's now 2 new RMCs opening in Europe in 2019. So the big question is, which one's better? Obviously Zadra has got much better statistics. He's much taller and much faster and quite a bit longer. But as we know, everybody that's ridden Untamed says it rides really well and has incredible pacing. They both have a lot of airtime and they both look like very good rides. The main difference between them is that Zadra has a lot more of a hypercoaster layout because the elements are a lot more drawn out, because it has the height and it is a hypercoaster, so it's going to be more like Steel Vengeance. And then Untamed has a lot more smaller, closer together rapid fire elements like the end of Steel Vengeance and Twisted Timbers. So if we look more into the layout of Untamed, it starts out with that outward bank turn, which does look like a fun way to start the coaster, and then heads up the lift hill. It's almost only half the height of Zadra, but it starts off with a very steep drop, which must be incredible in the back row. You then go up into a small straight bunny hop, which will obviously deliver some ejector airtime, and then you go up into the double inverting caller stall, as I think they're calling it, which probably offers some fun laterals and a bit of sideways airtime at the top, and then you go into a double up into this turnaround, which is kind of like Hyperion in that it gives you airtime at the top and then chucks you to the side, and then you go down into another ejector airtime hill, and then an outward banking airtime hill, like a mini Steel Vengeance hill, up into the step up underflip, which is the name they wanted to give it, which is just a barrel roll into a mini wave turn. Then you go up into this triple down, which looks like it just gives incredible ejector airtime, and then this sideways stall element taking you around the corner, and then lots of rapid fire airtime hills into the off-axis airtime hill where the pacing's really picked up now, and then you go through the structure, get loads of head choppers, and go through the last really low to the ground inversion, and then got a couple of airtime pops up into the brake run. So with Untamed, there's not really that many standout elements because the whole of the ride is just to do with pacing, small ejector airtime pops, and all of the elements look great. But I think some of the standout points are definitely the drop if you're on the back row, the mini Steel Vengeance hill, the double up, double down, and that first double inversion. Although this ride has the most inversions out of an RMC, it looks like it's more airtime based than inversion based, and it just has really great pacing, and everything about it is done really well, and it absolutely flies around the track. Although I don't know any reviews of Zadra at the time of recording, I'm going to try speculate how it's going to feel. And a lot of the ride has been built now, so we can see more of the shaping of these hills and the layout. So Zadra starts off with this absolutely ginormous 200-foot drop, which is pretty much vertical, which must just be insane considering that this ride's going to have really long trains. So there's not much else to say about the drop other than it just looks great. And then you go into this great off-axis twisted airtime moment, which looks like it'll offer some serious ejector and laterals, and then you go up into this turnaround which starts off like lightning rod, then turns into an outward banking airtime hill, and we can see from what's already been built that this is banked outward enough to deliver some crazy airtime, and it's very steep, so I can only imagine how crazy being pulled down that on the back row is, because one of my favourite moments on a coaster at the moment is Icon's Junior Immelman, because of that sideways airtime feeling you get being pulled down the drop. Next, you've just got the absolutely ginormous 0G stall, which, I mean, the hang time on that is going to be ridiculous. And then you go up into like an outward banking airtime hill, again great element, into I think there's going to be a tunnel there, and then just a massive airtime hill, pure ejector. Then you've got another barrel roll, again it's an RMC inversion, it's going to be very good. RMC 0G rolls give airtime, so that's going to be great. And then you go around into this triple down. If this triple down is as good as lightning rods, then this ride could be better than Untamed. It really does look like it's going to give some really strong ejector airtime. And then you go into these two back back-to-back turns, which could either be really good or really bad, because we know at the end of Wildfire it slows down quite a lot and the turns there don't really do anything. So is it going to be like that, or is it going to actually deliver some force? But by the way it's shaped, as we can see now it's actually been built, it looks like you are actually going to get some airtime in between the two hills. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And then you go into the 0G roll into the brake run. So again, Zadra, if this thing runs at a good pace, then I think it will be Untamed, just because of the pure amount of sustained ejector airtime moments, and that triple down makes up for the fact that it doesn't have the insane pacing of Untamed near the end. Another thing it doesn't have is diving through the structure and all the hand choppers you get with that. The standout elements on this are that turnaround section, triple down, and probably that outward banking airtime hill. So yeah, this ride's just an absolute monster. It's got the speed and it's got the height over Untamed, and if it does use that to its advantage and it hauls around the layout, then I think it will be better than Untamed. But as we know, RMCs don't have to be gigantic to be a great ride. There's lots of smaller ones like Storm Chaser, which is regarded as some of the best coasters in the world. Although they are both RMC iBox coasters, they're very different because of the layout. I can't compare the restraints or anything like that because they're the same ride, so you're gonna have the same restraints. And the operations, we're not gonna know yet from Zadra, but Energylandia's operations are usually very good. And by the looks of it, Zadra will have a better theme than Untamed, because Untamed is still themed quite a bit, but looking from the photos around the Zadra entrance and the area it's going to be, and the quality of theming on Hyperion, I think Zadra will probably be better themed than Hyperion, although I don't think it will be one of the most themed coasters on Earth. I just think the theme will be very good on this ride. Nothing during the ride, just a nice queue line and a good area that it's in. They're going to be very close to see which ride turns out better, because Untamed we already know is an absolutely incredible ride just because of the speed it goes through that layout. Zadra does seem to have a lot more sustained moments, like the 0G stall, the big ejector hill, and the outward banking airtime hill. But although it might have a lot of these sustained ejector moments and lots of speed, can it beat the pacing of Untamed? However, I am saying that the pacing on Zadra might not quite be as good as the pacing and the relentlessness on Untamed, but that's what everybody thought with Steel Vengeance, and that's probably one of the best paced coasters on Earth. So I guess that means that Zadra is very likely to be paced very well. And now I've looked beyond the stats and into the actual ride experience, I have come to a conclusion, and that is that Zadra is the better ride. Not because of the stats and the speed, which will help the ride, but just because of the amount of pure just ejector moments like on the turnaround. Although it might not have quite as much of a variety of elements as Untamed, I think the layout and the ride will probably just be better overall, which does not mean at all that Untamed's not a bad ride, because Untamed still looks absolutely amazing. And this is a year where we're probably going to have the best coaster in Europe changed twice, because Untamed was quite possibly the best coaster in Europe when that opened, and now the same thing's going to happen with Zadra if Zadra is better. So in the end, Zadra probably will turn out to be the better coaster, but at the end of it, we're still getting two of the best coasters on the planet in Europe to compete with those in North America. There is still potential for Zadra to be the best coaster in the world, but we'll just have to see how it rides. So that's my thoughts. Do you agree? Put your opinion in the comments below. And what I really want from all of you is to give me some actual constructive criticism in the comments, because I don't know what's good and what's bad with my videos, and what I want to do is make them as good as I can. I just want to improve every video I make. So thanks if you've stuck to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.